Hi guys, welcome back to Tigre Gitana. My name is Abby, and today we're going to be continuing the Astro series that I've been doing slowly but surely, getting through. And we're going to talk about Jupiter today. That's the next planet in the series, and Jupiter is very, very amazing as a planet. I would say it has its faults as well, but we're going to talk about it. So first thing to say about Jupiter is that it is the planet of abundance, expansion, luck, opportunity, overindulgence. It's a very much it's the biggest planet out of all the planets. It is also known as the gods of the planets because of that Zeus like vibes. So Jupiter is very much, even though the sun takes a lot of from what we look at in the chart and how people focus so much on the sun, because again, we people basically we were like the center of our own universes. Jupiter is really the one that is that like that big expansive presence. It's like, if you wanted to really understand it, is like what you would pray to, because you're asking for miracles and stuff like that. That's what Jupiter brings. It brings like openness, abundance, like opening the road, luck, opportunity. When you have these type of moments, those things that you always pray for is like what Jupiter really like comes in and brings. Even though the other signs, the other planets rule different aspects of different types of abundance that you might want, Jupiter is the one that when in a sign will open up the best and worst qualities of that sign, because it's just like, hey, I'm here. So what Jupiter, the way I always see Jupiter is, especially and the best example of this would be like what happened last year with Jupiter being in Scorpio. I see Jupiter like as it transits through the signs, coming in like with a flashlight in a room that has just been dark and nobody's been in there for like a long time, and Jupiter just comes in the room, turns on the flashlight. It's like, this is not enough, so it turns on the light and everything, there's like no darkness anywhere, and you can see the hot mess and everything that is there. And that really was what Jupiter and Scorpio was last year. And so it really illuminates a lot. It brings in the light. It's that like divine energy. It illuminates the light, and it really speaks on what is it that we're like expanding, whether it is stuff that we're hiding and or we're not focusing on, or like depending on the sign, it could really say like, hey, you know, I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna let you shine. I'm gonna, like, whether you want to or not, Jupiter is like, cool, I'm here, let's go. This is how big you thought your path was this straight, but I'm gonna make it be this big. Jupiter really focuses on that, and you can tell by how Sagittarius is, because that is his ruling sign. Sagittarius, the way they are, it's a fire sign, of course, it's mutable, so it's changeable, and Jupiter definitely needs to be changeable, because it's always about expanding, so it can't be fixed energy. It has to be expansive, changeable, always absorbing. It's like a sponge. It needs to constantly, it can keep absorbing different things, different information. It needs to take in, it could take in more, and that's why Sagittarius is the way it is, and why it rules the ninth house, which is the house of higher education, travel, knowledge, and really you like understanding and diving into what you know, and how you're gonna apply those things. And really, like, you can never, basically with Jupiter, you can never learn enough. There's always another book to read, you know, there's always something that you can expand in, things that you can elevate your journey in, and that's what Jupiter is about. Jupiter really focuses on making your journey a kind of open journey. It's like, it doesn't have to be restrictive. There's no restrictions really with Jupiter. The negative parts of Jupiter, depending on the sign and where it's at as well, is that it can make you overindulge. It can make you like overeat or over buy, overspend. Like if you have Jupiter in like the second house or something like that, like you can overspend. You can focus too much on one thing, and it really you kind of have to really check yourself when it comes to Jupiter, because it's so expansive and it brings so much in. You kind of have to sift out what it is that you want to stay, because it can bring so much positivity in, but too much of a good thing is not always a good thing, and that's the one thing to remember with Jupiter energy. You also want to focus on the other aspects of what's going on in your chart, what's going on in your life. You also want to focus on those, even if you're seeing a lot of opportunities building. Jupiter is amazing because it is the planet of luck, and because it opens that road up. You're really able to, depending on which house it falls, manifest really well. I know a lot of people for this year, because Jupiter's in Sagittarius, was just his home sign, so there's a lot of luck, opportunity, travel happening for a lot of people, depending on the house. I know a lot of people that have it in the first house, which is an amazing transit for the year. I mean, last year it was in the 12th house, so there was a lot of stuff going on, but this year it should be really good. For me, it's in my 5th house this year, so house of pleasure, and I'm really excited about that, because let us enjoy life, like, why not? But as the years go by, you'll be able to see that every year Jupiter is like highlighting a different part of your chart, and that part of your chart, you'll have a lot of stuff opening up out of nowhere. You'll just kind of see that energy shifting and moving around. You're like, okay, I got lucky, oh my god. And it's almost like you don't understand why certain things are becoming a little bit more easy, or not, you don't really have to struggle to get it. And that's how Sag is. Like, Sagittarius are always like that. They're like the luckiest people on the planet, and they're able to really manifest really fast, and things that they need really quickly, opportunities really quickly, traveling always very quickly. Sagittarius are probably like one of the best people to travel with, because they're always in it to learn and absorb and like really just have fun, and that's why they're also party animals. And that's really how Jupiter is. Jupiter just wants you to enjoy your life and enjoy, like, that's why it's just like, hey, let's open the windows in this room that's been dark for like ever, that you haven't been in for a long time, that you've just been ignoring because you've been focusing on everywhere else. It's like, hey, let's just really shift that. Let's focus the energy elsewhere. And it's a good thing. I can see where some people would kind of struggle with it, like when it comes to it, depending on where you have it, and what is highlighting for you. Definitely, like, if it's in the 2nd house, you could overspend or stuff like that, or you would want to buy very lavish things if like Venus is in there too. So it can be a little bit tricky, but it's always a good energy. And that's kind of the thing to remember with Jupiter. It's never coming from a place of like negativity, but it can be negative if you overuse it. Let's see if I want to add anything else about Jupiter. Okay, one thing I will add about Jupiter can definitely highlight a lot of the time where your luck and opportunity in regards to your path will be throughout your life. So destiny wise, because if you're following like what you're supposed to do, what you're meant to do in life, Jupiter, you'll be able to see whatever sign you have Jupiter, and you'll be able to see how it correlates throughout your life. And how it impacts how easy it is for you to do what you're born to do. So Jupiter is a really cool planet to just really put your attention on. I don't feel like, I honestly feel like Jupiter doesn't get talked about enough. As a planet, I just don't see it happening enough. Like, a lot of people focus on you know, like the moon moving, and Mercury is like always a big one. Venus, obviously, because of love and money. But Jupiter and Venus like working together, if you look at your chart, Jupiter and Venus working together, it really brings a lot to you. And you can kind of see why stuff is happening to you. Like, I was reading somebody's chart yesterday actually, and it was really funny because she has Jupiter in the 1st, and she also has Venus in the 1st house, and yeah, and Venus in the 1st house. And I was just like, girl, I was just like, girl, so you basically are like really lucky, and like you attract a lot of different things to you. And she's like, well, I mean, that makes sense, but like, is that why I always like it? She was struggling to understand why stuff like this happens, because she's a Scorpio, so she doesn't know why it was happening, but she would always question things like, wait, that was kind of really easy. Like, I applied for this job and I got it like in 2 days. That's really easy. Like, it's always really easy for her, and that's what Jupiter does. He really comes in and he's like, okay, let's just turn on the light. And when he turns on the light, he's really like trying to make you stay open to whatever it is that needs to be highlighted. So he's a very fun planet. It's probably one of my favorites. I have Jupiter in Cancer, and it's exalted in Cancer, so it's Jupiter basically does his best when he's in Cancer, even though he rules Sagittarius, but he does his best when he's in Cancer, because Cancer is able to take his embodiment, his energy, like what he does, and really apply it. And Jupiter and Cancer usually tends to be like spiritual leaders and stuff like that, which is why we are here today. Anyway, so yeah, so that is Jupiter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.